Hello everybody, you're here with Claro Beauty with your host Claudia Lara, and we are in another episode of Fragrance. I just love saying that. So today, yes, if you want to see this very smoky, intense look, I'll link it down below. This is done with the Wayne Goss Imperial Topaz palette, and it was a request from you guys to do a smoky look with it, and it was a success. I think I feel very successful in a smoky eye look. Woo-hoo-hoo. And because of that, I pull out today's fragrance. Now, I haven't smelled it. I don't know what it smells like. I just know it's a YouTube favorite. And I went on a little bit on the ingredients, and the ingredients look fabulous, right up my alley, with some amber and rose and some other goodies that, you know, my memory fails me, that which we will mention because I have them right here in front of me, almost. All right, well, let's start the way we do these fragrance episodes, because I like to have a little bit of structure, at least. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you know that I've been doing this one. At least I'm not doing these extravagance titles, you know, like the best rose, the best amber, the best for women, which not yet. It's just that I like to do this individual, even for myself. I like to go back and see what was the experience of the fragrance. And again, if you've been with me, that's where I was going before. I like to read a little bit about the fragrance, like who's behind the nose, a little bit of the ingredients, but most important, my experience with it, and what would I use it for, or what do I see with it, because I get images. I don't know what to tell you, and probably from my own experiences, but I get all this insights when I smell it, and that's why I love doing this episodes. So back to ROJA Parfums, which is the house that creates this perfume, this fragrance, and it's called Amber Aoud. So and I'm just discovering this. Like I said, I don't know what is wrong with me. Yes, I already said I haven't smelled it. We're gonna smell it together. So Amber Aoud by ROJA Dove is an amber spicy fragrance for women and men. So I am already liking the amber spicy. Especially, I think I've been smelling some amber, not amber, but spicy fragrances lately, and I've been falling in love with it. Maybe because we're still sort of winter, although I live in Miami, so not winter outside is beautiful. But I can feel you all, I guess. I don't even know if this one is a winter fragrance, so let me just wait. It's just the amber spicy, that's where I went, but maybe not. So Amber Aoud was launched in 2012, so just last decade. So it seems that that's been the case with the most favorite fragrances. They're relatively new. The nose behind this fragrance is ROJA Dove. What a surprise. ROJA Dove, that's the house, I guess. These houses are niche fragrances, so they are intended for the connoisseurs, or this, I guess, scientists, that's what I call, who came up with the fragrances. You know, they know their nose, they know their smells, but the most important, they know how to mix them, right? And so the niche fragrances started becoming for that, to have quality and to have very distinct scents. So we'll smell it pretty soon. So before I start going into the top notes and all of that, let me smell it, and you'll see if my mood changes and what it changes to, because I will tell you a lot from the fragrance. Yes, I'm becoming the rat in the laboratory. Ooh, well, I'm already liking what the hint that I got. It was strong. And the hint that I got was of sort of rose. I was able to smell the rose, not the amber, but the rose. The amber usually for me just makes the perfume very elegant. Now, I usually order bigger samples than this, but since I don't know the fragrance, I didn't know anything, I thought I'll just, ooh, this is so nice. All right, and elegant. I mean, the amber always makes it elegant for me. So we have to be careful with this little bottle. All right. So, oh, wow. All right. So if I would order again, I would order a much bigger size. Oh, it smells so nice. It smells so nice, but I am already smelling some familiarity of some fragrances that I've been smelling lately, which all have been very strong. I don't know why the first hint, this is milder, but it reminded me of Atomic Rose from Initio. I don't know why. Some hint. These are niche fragrances. They all have a lane of their own. So I'm not saying it's like it, but I think the rose combined with this other thing, is it vetiver? There's another smell that, well, let's go and see the ingredients. So the first place I go is Fragrantica. It's a website where all or most perfumes are there. So I like to start there because it gives me a baseline, from all the brands. So the main accords listed here are warm, spicy, rose, woody, amber, oud, animalic, citrus, leather, powdery, and musky. So we all know that nowadays these are the flavors, the scents that we are favoring. And that is, for example, rose for sure, oud, bestsellers, leather, and powdery in the minor notes. Those seem to be the ones that we keep now mixing and finding in most of the recent fragrances, at least in my case. So the warm, spicy, I don't know. Maybe that's what I thought it was vetiver. I don't know. Let's look at the ingredients. It says top notes are bergamot, lime, and lemon. Totally surprised by that because I don't smell the lime and lemon. Maybe that is what picks it up, which I appreciate because I do feel uplifted by it. And that's important to me in the fragrances because I like something that motivates me, that initiates me, So this is one of those, and I mentioned before, citruses bring me to that action mood. But I didn't smell it to begin with, so I'm just happy they're there. Maybe that's part of the experience. Middle notes are rose, fig, ylang ylang, and jasmine. You know me, I love rose, I love jasmine. Beautiful. And the base notes are argawood, which is oud, ambergris, saffron, cinnamon, birch, civet, orit, root, musk, sandalwood, oak moss, and patchouli. Okay, most of them I wouldn't be able to distinct. I'm finding that saffron makes it a very cozy, you can say masculine, but that kind of holding to the fragrances I smell. Cinnamon, I guess that's where they go into the spicy sort of thing, but it's not like I would smell cinnamon in it. Once you mention it, it's like, yeah, I can get a hint of it. And patchouli, which is supposed to be the one that grabs you, right? That seduces you, that you want to smell more. But I wouldn't say it smells like patchouli, but that's what I've been recognizing now as I smell fragrances, the attitude or the experience that brings with each of the scents, even though you probably can't really smell it, like in this case, the patchouli. And that's just my nose. Maybe you smell it and you're like, ah, patchouli, I totally see it, because this is very personal and you know this. So let's go to the actual ROJA website. And I like to read a little bit on their description because I think words matter and I think the intention and all of that jazz, right? So it says key ingredients here. They say it's rose, fig, cinnamon, saffron, oud, and benzoin. So rose, fig, cinnamon, saffron, oud, and benzoin. The reason I keep mentioning is because the rose, for sure, that was the first thing I got. Fig, I guess that's what gives a little bit of the sweetness to it. Cinnamon and saffron, so I am learning to appreciate that in that coziness. I guess that brings that spiciness, and of course the oud that we all prefer. Very interesting because based on the ingredients, I would say this is a very different fragrance of the ones I've been smelling, but no, there's a big time familiarity that I'm finding. Maybe because they were all made in the same decade sort of thing, but yeah, I'm feeling a lot of initial house in this. That sort of, it's not as intense, explosive in your face as I have described initial. So I actually appreciate that on this. It will be a fragrance that I will be more towards wearing it, because the initial, actually I bought very big bottles of initials just because they're, you know, they're addictive, just like they describe it. But I don't know if I would necessarily wear it, because they are too strong, and usually I like a little more understated or a little more softer. However, I like to have that smell once in a while, you know, here in my house or whatever. So this one, I feel it is a little more understated, a little more like I'm used to wearing a fragrance where you smell it enough, it will linger enough, it will be smellable by others enough, yet it's not boom in your face and I'm not in a cloud of it. So I like that already, quite a lot, quite a bit. And so let me just read a little bit, 2 sentences. It says, a creation so distinctive that it is one of our most iconic scents across the world. This subcutaneous scent builds a sweet and spicy accord around the central note of oud. So that's the first sentence, although it's a little longer sentence. I would agree of all of it, in the sense, first, I've heard it was one of the best sellers, so this is a favorite. Second, there is this combination of sweet and spicy. There is. I can't pull it, put the finger on it. Obviously, we talked about the cinnamon and the saffron combined. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I guess spicy and sweet, yes. And then oud, yes, you smell the oud for sure, but not as strong. It's not the main one like other oud fragrances. I wouldn't say this is an oud fragrance, but you can definitely smell it. And then the elegant, and then the next sentence that it says, the elegant tones of rose are met with the fruity sweetness of fig and balsamic sweetness of benzoin and cinnamon and saffron, and lend to resonating warmth. Okay. Not sure about all that. Not sure about all that, because fruity sweetness, yeah, you know, fruity sweetness, how I will find that, you know, when you take a fruit tea, hot tea, like a peachy tea or peachy and vanilla tea. This doesn't have vanilla, I don't want to confuse you, but you know where, yeah, you're like, yeah, it's fruity in the back of the palate, perhaps. So I can find that here, but I wouldn't say I smell it. I mean, I don't smell fruitiness. No, I smell more the oud, the leather, just the warmth that I spoke about. And then last, I have to read this because this is where the most important words are. Like it says, enveloping fragrance fans in a cloud of olfactive majesty. Those are the words that I really wanted to read. Olfactive majesty. The cold status of Amber Aoud is not without justification. Olfactive majesty. Those words remind me again of Benicio. Not as bold, not as in your face, but they go in there. Majesty. I've heard those words before from the other house. So I don't want to take away from ROJA Parfums, comparing it so much for Initio. Maybe it's because I smell Initio first, and Initio really, you know, makes a statement. So, but I find that this is very much behind it, and behind it only because it's more understated. So I don't feel this fragrance makes another lane, another mark. It just, I think, is very good and understated, more towards myself, perhaps, right? So it's for men and for women. I totally see that, because it has those masculine oud, you know, leather, you know, of course here it says the cinnamon, it has all of that warm and spicy and comfort, and I see all of those more for a male or a female with, you know, those rooms that have very dark green or very indigo, but in the darker, very solemn, you know, with very elegant, with perhaps some books and some gold figurines because there's the extravagance. I see that femininity, sort of, it could be males, but a woman that likes that kind of taste sort of thing. I see this perfume for her, for example, because it matches that whole solemnity, elegance of a woman. Other than that, I see a more for an elegant male, not necessarily solemn. It could be an everyday or work. It's just that for female, I imagine a woman more with amber elegance, more open white florals, even more romantic and pinkish, you know, just me. So I describe when it's for a woman, yes, it could be, yes, it's elegant, yes, like that, but in that solemn sort of way. For male, I see it for every day, for, you know, for work, for a woman, I could see it, like I could see myself wearing this for a very elegant dinner, maybe with the bosses of my husband, or, you know, like an elegant formal, but, you know, there's some relationship building sort of thing. Most likely I wouldn't wear this, but that would be what I describe, what I see myself, like playing a good role, like playing an elegant role. I even had a picture of meeting the Queen of England. Yeah, right. But if I did, you know, that kind of formality, I wouldn't have wear this. But that kind of formality is what I see with this for a woman. It is beautiful. It is, for example, something that I would like to smell if it's at Christmas dinner or something like that, and somebody comes in with this. See, we ended up going to winter. Remember, I started like that. So I do see that. There you have it. I hope this gives you enough description. I do like it. I would buy it. It's a beautiful fragrance, understated compared to an issue, but I can't think of what I would wear it to. So I think it could be a great gift. I think it definitely, I can see certain people being their signature fragrance, but no, it's not something that I will buy a full bottle of. I don't see myself going for that often, but I love the fragrance. I would definitely enjoy it. And as we speak and as times go by, as you see, I keep going, so it's very pleasant. It's mellowing down and I can smell a little more of the sweetness. So that's a good thing. Perhaps at the end of the day, is one of those fragrances that you fell in love with. So if that's the case, I will have to follow up. Remember, these are first impressions, and with fragrance, you have to get to know them and experience them. And either you're like, I had enough, or you say, oh, I could wear that every day. It also reminded me, now that I think of this fruitiness, of the Lost Cherry from Tom Ford. It has a little bit of that quality towards the end, now that I was talking about how it starts drying off, and it gives you that sort of quality, something that it still hits you very lightly, but it's still strong enough. And I do own that fragrance. So it does give me that sort of thing. And as it's drying even more and more, it is a little lighter on the oud, so it's a little more enjoyable in the sweet part of it, or I guess the white florals that seems to be in the middle of the notes. So I can see how this can become a definitely favorite. I can see that you get used to this aroma and you want more. So it becomes very familiar very fast. That is not from most fragrances. Most fragrances, you have to wear them a little, fall in love with them a little by little. This one seems that is one of those comes and comes to stay sort of thing. Becomes very familiar very quickly. So that is nice. That is nice. So maybe I will have to do a follow-up on this one, because see, it's 20 minutes with you all and I'm already falling in love with it. So maybe fair first impressions would not be fair for this fragrance per se. I think I'll let you know if anything changes, or I'll do an update, but so far, love the fragrance. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do it this moment. And please comment below, do you own the fragrance? Have you smelled the fragrance? What do you think? What do you think is for, or for who? So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.